My dear student, how are you all? I think all of you are fine. I am also fine. So today our lesson is food. Where does it come from? This is the first lesson of class science NCERT. Okay, this is a very interesting lesson. Already you know about this lesson. You know about food. It is a very familiar topic. We are very well known about it because in the previous class you already know what is the component of food, what are the different component of food, what is the function of carbohydrate, protein, fats, lipids. You all know about all this one. So this is not a unknown thing. Already you know something about this lesson. So today we will discuss something more related to that our non topic, that is food. Here in class 6 we will discuss where does it come from. Already we know about food, okay, but here we will discuss about where does it come from. Besides that also, if you forget then also I would like to clear your doubt. I would like to remind the definition of food. You might be forgotten. If you remember, then it's very good. But those who have forgotten, for them I am saying, food is any substance. Okay? Food is any substance that can be eaten or drunk by living organism. That is called food. That means it may be anything. But there is two conditions. It may be it may be eaten by the living beings, or it may be drunken by the living beings. Then only that particular thing or that particular substance will called as food. Otherwise it will not called as food. So that is the definition of food. Now in our lesson we should also discuss, we should cover these topics, that is food, food, then food variety, food material and its sources, then plant parts and animal product as food. And lastly, we also discuss what do animals eat. Okay. So let us discuss first of all food. Okay. So already we come to know what is the definition of food, right? Now let us think why we need food. What is the importance of food? Already you know this one, yes or no? Because food is needed for living organism to survive. Without food, no living organism survive. Food is very essential for the survival of the living beings, whether it is plants, animals, or any other living organism. Food is very essential for them. Without food, no living organism, no living organism will survive. So now let us proceed to the next topic, that is food and food variety. That means you think yourself whether you used to take same kind of food or different kind of food. Yes or no? If you consider the example, if you take an example in a particular day, from our breakfast to till till the dinner, are we take the same kind of food? No. In breakfast we take some different sort of food. In the lunch we take different sort of food. In the dinner we take different sort of food. Right? That means there are various types of foods available. That's why only we are able to take various kinds of food. Right? Otherwise it is not possible to take us. That means foods have different types of variety. Foods are various types. Food variety means what? We come to conclude that food variety means various types of foods are there. Various types of foods are there. So that is called food variety. That means variety means different. Variety means different. That different types of food are there. Okay. Yes, for example, some foods contain carbohydrate. That is called the food rich in that food. Some food are rich in carbohydrate, that are called carbohydrate rich food. Some foods are rich in protein, so that are protein rich food. So like this, different types of foods are there. Next, is it clear? Next you see, we'll discuss about food material and and food material and sources. Food material and sources. Food material means what? Food material means, suppose if you consider a particular food item, right, that it contains different type of material, and by composing that one or by combining that different material, a particular food item is used to make. If you take example, suppose for example, if you take example of that is tea. Tea means only tea? No, it contains what? Appropriate amount of what? Water, right? Appropriate amount of tea leaf, sugar, yes or no? Then milk, or people also use some other flavor also. So by combining this all, what does we get? We get a different food item. So what are the different items we have added? What are the different ingredients we have added? That is called food material. What material? Food material. So here I would like to clarify one thing, is that ingredients. This is one of the important topic you should know. Ingredient means the different food material that is required to prepare a particular food item, that is called ingredient. Just few minutes ago I have given you one example, that is what tea. So in tea we have discussed there are what is there? There is water, there is tea leaf, there is sugar, there is milk. So each and every component is what called? That is called what? That is called ingredient. What it is called? Ingredients. So water is an ingredient, tea leaf is an ingredient, sugar is an ingredient, and that prepared what? That prepared a food item. Next is a given. Clear? Up to this much is clear. Next is a source. Says what it is? Sources. It's very simple, and you already know which one. If I tell you, then it will become clear for you. The main sources of our food is that is plants and what animals. The main source of our food is plants and animals. The main source of our food is what? Plants and animals. That means whatever food item we used to take, either that one is to come from plants or animals. You take the example of rice. From where we get rice? Rice come from rice plants. You take the example of chapati. What does chapati come from? Chapati come from wood. Wood come from wood plant. So the chapati and rice, from where we get it? We get it from plants. On the other hand, there are some food items that we get from animals. From where we get it from animals. You consider the example of milk, meat, fish. So these are food items that we get, that we obtain from what? Animals. That we obtain from animals. So the ultimate source of our food is plants and animals. But one thing here it is important to notice, although the main source of our food is plants and animals, but if you consider the primary source of our food is what? Plants. Because we get some of the food from what? From which one? From what? Which? Animals. But where does animal get food? From where does the animals get their food? They used to get their food from the plants. So indirectly, what can we say? The ultimate source of our food is what? That is plants. That is what? Plants. Whatever it may be. But whatever, if some question is used to ask, often question is used to ask in the exam, what are the sources of food? Then you have to write over there. That is plants and what? Animals. The sources of our food is plants and animals. Right? next topic, that is plant fats and animal product as food. Right? We come to know what is food, right? Then we come to know food variety. Then we also come to know food material and sources. Now you see given plant part and animals product as food. So plant is a source of food. That doesn't mean we should take the whole plant as a food. Right? In some plants we use seed as their their seed as our food. In some plants we take the leaf of the plant as our food. In some plants we take the stem of the plant as our food. In some in some plants we take their root as our food. If I give you some example, then it will be clear. See here. Suppose if you consider the example of rice. So in rice plant, which part we use as a food? Can you tell me? That is see. If you consider the example of potato, which part we use as a food? That is stem. What it is? Stem. If you consider the example of cabbage, which part we use as a food? That is leaves. Right. If you consider the example of that is carrot. So in carrot, which part we use as a food? That is right. So that's why here it is said that plant part. That means the whole plant we didn't take as our food. In some plants, but there is one exception is there. In some plants, more than one part we use as a food. But in most of the plants we use as a single part of their body as a food. Right. So is it clear? The plant part, that means some of the part of the plant we use as a food. I have given you the example. Alright. Next is animals product as food. So beside the plant's parts also we use various animals product as our food. As for example, if you take the example of that one, I'll write here. If you take the example of milk. So this is what? This is what? This is nothing. This is what? This is one of the animal product that we get from the cow. So this is a animal product. Besides that also, if you consider the example of fish, right? Then you consider the example of meat. So all these are also what? That are animals product. Animals product that what we use as a food. Next is given, is clear? Next given, what do animals eat? Definitely we come to know yes or no that animals eat what? Food. Because we come across at the beginning itself we have discussed that food is very important. Why it is important? Because it is needed for the living beings for their survival. Right? But here it doesn't mean that. It states some other meaning. What do animals eat means? Definitely, obviously, you are right that animals eat food. But your question is that is all animals take the same kind of food? Is it? The answer is definitely no. Different types of animals is used to eat different kind of food. So on the basis of their food habit, animal has been categorized into different categories. Right? For example, I am to say already you are familiar with some of the categories. You know about herbivores. So herbivores are what? They are nothing. They are group of organisms. They used to take plant or plant product as their food. That means they are wholly or totally depend upon plants for their foods. So they are termed as herbivores. Herbivores. Next category, there are some animals, they didn't take the plant as their food or plant product as their food. They used to depend on some other animals. That means they used to eat the flesh of some other animals as their food. Already you know that one, what it is. They are called what? Carnivores. They are called what? Carnivores. Besides that also, there are one group of organisms, they have dual feature. That means dual feature means they have two characteristics. That means they have the capacity or they are capable of obtain the food from both the sources, that is from the plants as well as from the animals. From the plants as well as from the animals. So they are termed as omnivore. What it is called? Omnivore. Besides that also, in your class, two more categories are given, right? Two more categories are given. That is, I have told you herbivore, about herbivores, then carnivores, then omnivores. Besides that also, two more categories are given in your book. When you go through the lesson, then you can see that one. Another two is that is scavengers, and last one is parasites. What it is? Parasites. So far we have discussed that one, herbivores. Then we have also learned about carnivores. We have also learned about omnivores. Here the example of omnivore. There is example of omnivore. Crow is an example of omnivore. Then given what scavengers. There are some animals, they used to feed upon the they used to feed upon the dead and decaying matter of animals. That type of animals are called that is called scavenger. As for example, eagle, right? So that is an example of scavenger. They used to eat the they used to take the food of the dead and decaying matter of animals. That are called scavenger. After that, last one is a parasite. What it is? Parasites. Parasites are also some of the group of, one of the very important group of organisms. They used to live in or on some other living organism, and they used to obtain the food from them. And that group of organisms are called parasites. As for example, fleas, mosquito, that are what that are what parasite. That are called what? Parasite. So that is what do animals eat. So that means different animals eat different kind of food, and according to that they have been divided or they have been categorized into 5 categories. That is herbivores, carnivores, omnivores, scavengers, and parasites. So this is all about this lesson. This is a very small lesson, and you have got most of the related thing of this lesson in your previous classes. That's why, as it is a very small lesson, that's why I have completed this lesson in one class. In my later class I will discuss the question and answer. Right. Thank you all of you. Have a nice day.